Someone contacted me earlier today about exercise 3A and 3B. So here is some clarification in case you didn't understand it. Okay, for part 3A, you're going to complete the Google Doc by listening to the questions and writing the answers based on the family tree in the document. Use complete sentences. So if you find out that the name of the person is Martha, you would say, es Marta. Or you can write it down as se llama Marta instead. So here's the audio file. I'm not going to play back because it's going to interfere with my recording, but when you open the document, here is the list of the vocabulary which you can always refer to. And here is the family tree. Okay? So, for example, I said I was not going to play it, but I'll play it. Ejercicio 2. Look at the family tree below and answer the questions about the family members. 1. ¿Quién es el papá de Graciela Vargas García? ¿Quién es el papá de Graciela Vargas García? All right, so the question is, ¿quién es el papá de Graciela Vargas García? Well, here's Graciela Vargas García. So, ¿quién es el papá? El papá es Juan Vargas Pardo. Or you can write down the answer for number 1 as es Juan. Or se llama Juan. So that's what you need to do for part A. Now let's take a look at part B. Okay. For part B, starts the same way with the vocabulary, and for the first exercise, you're going to write a definition for each one of these words using basic constructions in Spanish. So if you look at the model, now this is a much more complicated one because hijastro is stepson, or it is the son of my husband or my wife, but it's not my son. That's a bit more elaborate than abuela, right? Now, you know abuela means grandmother. So if you were to say in basic words, in English or Spanish, what is a grandmother? Well, a grandmother, as you know, is the mother of my mother. So if you were to write that in Spanish, you know, remember, it is, so it's es, the mother, so la madre of de mi madre. Now, you won't need the English part here, so that's what you would do, for example, for the first one. All right, so let's try another one here that is perhaps a little trickier. Okay, so what are cousins? Well, cousins are the daughters of my uncle and aunt, right? So instead of es, we're going to write son the daughters, las hijas of de mi tío y tía. Now, tío have an accent. You don't have to worry about it. You know, not really a big deal. All right, so let's try another one here. Okay, how about we try nietos? Now, nietos are grandchildren. And the grandchildren are children from my children, right? So, son the children, los hijos de mis hijos. They are the children of my children. So it doesn't have to be very complicated. Now let's take a look at the next exercise. For the next exercise, you are going to create 5 questions about the family below. Use quién and quiénes. So, for example, ¿quién es Beatriz Pardo Vargas? Okay, so that's Beatriz, right? So if you want to find out who she is, you're going to say ¿quién es? In other words, who is Beatriz Pardo Vargas? Who is Beatriz? Now notice we are not writing any answers because we are just creating the questions to work with a partner. Now, what's the difference between quién and quiénes? Well, both of them means who. But if you want to ask who is, and it's a single person, you're going to use quién es. If you want to say who are, and you're going to use instead quiénes son. Remember, son is the plural of es. So let's say you're trying to find out who Lupe and Juan are. So if you want to ask who are Lupe and Juan, you're not going to write quién, but rather quiénes son Lupe y Juan. Who are Lupe y Juan? And you put an accent mark at the end. You might correct you and ask you to put another one here. If so, great. If not, don't worry about it. Okay? So that's the exercise.